What is up, folks? It is Sunday evening, and I just finished the 48-hour film project this weekend. For those that don't know, 48-hour film project is when you receive an envelope on Friday around 7:30, with a line of dialogue, a prop, and a character, and a genre. Every team gets the same first three elements: line of dialogue, prop, and character, and every team gets a different genre. And this is my fourth time doing it. No, not fourth annual, because I think it's crazy to do it year after year. It is equal parts torture and fun. Equal parts is wrong. Uh, some years it's more torture than fun. Some years it's more fun than torture. This year was the best ratio of fun to torture, but I'm still hurting. I'm tired. Um, we pulled the best genre we've ever pulled this year. We got thriller, suspense. Past years we've gotten some pretty tough genres. We got road movie last time. We once got twist ending, which was a pretty good genre, but I don't know, it didn't go as well as I think. The story didn't come off. But this year, I think our story worked. It was a great weekend. Lots of stuff to be very excited about. Like I said, I think our story really makes sense, which is, that seems like low table stakes, but uh, they don't always make sense. Like you just kind of write the script so quickly, and then you're adding things as you go, and by the end, you're like, well, this is the footage we have, so we have to make something that has a start, like beginning, middle, and end, and hope that it makes sense. And frequently they don't. But this year we've got a nice tight story that makes sense. Downside is that we were still futzing with sound design way too late into the day. It just took a long time to get through the edit. Um, and we did end up turning our video in 4 minutes late, which really bites because that disqualifies you from the competition. You still get your film screened. You're still part of the community. It's not like you're in trouble for being late, but you just don't get to participate in the contest because that's the rules of the contest. You got to finish the film in 48 hours, and we finished it in 48 hours and 4 minutes. So didn't quite get there. Um, some really awesome wins this weekend was just early on. I started like asking on Facebook and social media and friends and family for support. Like we were looking for actors, and I had a whole roster of like 10 or 12 people that were ready and willing to come be in our film this weekend, and were willing to be on call knowing that we didn't know what we were going to shoot. So they're like, yeah, let me know, and weren't upset that we didn't use them. They were cool if we were going to use them. I had, I don't know, about 8 or 9 locations that were offered up that I like made a spreadsheet, and it just made me realize that every time I try to be creative, my friends, family, community really rally and support, and they're like, "Yes, let's do this thing. We're gonna help you. Here it comes. Here comes some help." And it's just like so humbling and flattering, and I don't think I take it for granted, but I do forget that that happens and just get stuck in the day to day, rigmarole of life, and forget that like if you want to create, you just have to plug into your community and you get to create, and you kind of get to do whatever you want. Like you get to make what you want. People will support you in your vision because they love and respect you, and want to help you do that. So I just really felt that this time, and it really like came true. Like just, I mean, people that I would even consider acquaintances or old friends that I haven't stayed in touch with, like came out of the woodwork, like, yeah, I got this location. Yeah, I'd like be in your film. And it just reminds you of like all the people that you've touched in your life and who's touched you in your life, and that they're still out there rooting for you. And I don't know, that's how I felt, and it felt awesome. Also, I just got to give a shout out to my in-laws, especially my mother-in-law, who fed us, like made us a taco bar for Saturday night, made us like awesome breakfast casseroles for Sunday. In past years, we've been really bad about feeding ourselves. It's just like the last thing we think about, and then you start getting sleepless, and you start racing the clock, and you just are like, we don't have time to like all collaborate on food and do this. And so then instead nobody does it, and you're just like, it's like the worst case scenario. Like you're tired and stressed and also now famished. So that was not an issue this time, and that helped contribute to the story. Like you can't underestimate how important that was to what we actually got in the can in the film. Every part on set helps, and craft services is not a small part of that. So shout out Jennifer and Jeffrey. Thank you for coming through with that. And then what else did I want to say? Oh yeah, it was pretty awesome. So if anybody sees this that has been following my social media and remembers the last time I did the 48 hour, it was in 2000. I don't know. My nephew was 11, okay, and he was in it, and it was adorable, and I was very proud because it was the first time he ever signed his signature was on the release for our 48-hour film project, and it was just like a proud uncle moment. And I'm realizing now in retrospect that that was a proud uncle moment, and that I was like proud of myself that like we're doing this cool thing, and this is a story I get with my nephew. So that's the first time he signed a signature was as a release on this thing. um, this time my 18-year-old nephew, same guy, it's just been that long since we did one, who's going to school in the fall for animation and art, and has made some movies with his friends, came and helped us on set. And like, I don't mean came and like interned with us. I mean, he was a critical element of the set. He learned how to pull focus and was great at it immediately. And he edited, like, I pulled selects of our best things. I directed the thing. I pulled the selects, organized the files, and then finally slept. And he came over and just started cutting it together and made really intelligent decisions and told the story in a good way, cut through a really long dialogue scene in a really organic way that made sense. And I just have to say, I'm like really proud of him in a new way. Like that last story, I was proud of myself for doing this cool thing, and my nephew got to be part of it, and he signed his name there. Like that's just a fun story. This time, I'm like proud of my nephew and his creative contributions to our creative project, and I'm just so glad we got to share that. It was very important to me, and will continue to be important to me. And then finally, I don't know if it's finally, I'm rambling because I slept 1.5 hours since Saturday morning when I woke up at I think 9:30 a.m. I slept 1.5 hours this morning. Just it's just a fact of the matter. So I'm tired and I'm rambling. So forget the finally a couple minutes ago. Next thing is that the cast and crew this time was really fun. It was a mixture of old friends, like one old friend that I've been friends with since we were in our early 20s and all hanging out in the same house. Shout out Club Talbot. Shout out Mike Rapp. So I'm referring to. The other one's an old friend from advertising, and it's weird having an old friend from advertising because I started in advertising at 28 and now I'm 45, and he and I have been friends that whole time, and it's just weird having a friend for that long that you meet as an adult. Like, who makes friends as adults? That's like, there's memes about that. It's hard to make friends as adults, and he's my most prolific creative collaborator. I mean, like, he and I, as creative collaborators go, I have a number in my life, but I have worked on the most things with him and most passion projects, and he always comes through for me and brings all of his fancy gear when we need to make something. And so I'm talking about Kiri. Shout out to that guy. And then there was also just like one of the actors that came through, another mutual acquaintance, shared my call for cast on Facebook, and a proper actor who had 2 auditions Saturday morning was willing to come shoot if we were able to work around his auditions. And now I've got a new friend in Joe, and he killed it in our movie. We will share the movie. We're not allowed to share it on social media until after it screens for the 48-hour film project. So we will honor that. And because it was late and we rushed through the mix, I would say the film is like 90% there. It's good. I'm proud of it. Proud of the story, but it is only 90% there. And now, since we're already DQ'd, we are going to continue working on it and finish that last 10%. As my one of my friends said in text message when we're talking about, he said, might as well put the frosting on it at this point. So that's what we're gonna do, putting the frosting on. And yeah, here's one other story. So signed up for the 48-hour film project a while back, and then separately, my wife got a new job that's out of town, and she has 2 weeks of training where she gets to come home one weekend between those weeks. And guess what weekend she got to come home? So shout out to my beautiful wife. We went to a concert on Friday. The concert was planned before 48-hour film project. There's no chance I was meeting it. Shout out Crane Wives. Check them out if you don't listen to them yet. And we had a blast at the Crane Wives. And I came home and we I don't remember what we did after the Crane Wives, but I got to hang out with her for a bit. We had a really nice Friday night, but then I had to go to set and help the people on set, and then it was just she came home, we hung out for a couple hours, and then I was gone all weekend making a movie. So I love my wife so much, and I miss her. And yeah, it's just a funny thing to miss her when I left this weekend and she's gone, and we're not really gone, and we talk every day. But yeah, so shout out to her for putting up with me running away and making movies every once in a while. But yeah, great weekend. I'm really happy that I did it. Again, I do not think I will do the 48-hour film project next year. I think it takes some time for the amnesia to set in about the torturous parts. so that only the fun parts shine through, and they do shine through, and it was more fun than torture this time. But yeah, 1.5 hours sleep. I have no idea how I'm still standing. I don't know how I stayed standing last night. I've never been good at staying up all night. Like, just like as kids, I remember like my brother staying up and us like playing Monopoly and me just being the grumpy one that's like falling asleep at the table. And somehow like the rest of the cast and crew were rightfully like crashing out, going and finding a corner and sleeping on set. And I just like worked all night. I think I was just invigorated by the creative process. It was really good. And even into this morning, I tried to sleep and I almost fell asleep and I kicked over this water bottle that was closed, but it dominoed into a full cup of water that had 3 times the amount of water in it that it should have been able to carry. I don't know how, but like I was just up then because I then had to clean up water off of our releases and contest documents and some electronics that were sitting on the table. It was just like I might have fallen asleep. So then I was just up and I started setting up some more lights and doing that. And then I did finally fall asleep once we got the final shot because I was pretty stressing it. Like we had originally a 29 long shot list, 29 shots we needed to get. We were able to be a little bit more economical in how we combine shots and get those together and stuff like that. So we didn't have 29 in the end, I don't think. I actually don't remember what the final number is, but lighting setups take a long time, and we did we dawdled at some point, and I think we were a little forgetting our early in the contest privilege of how much time we had. You just get lost, like, oh, Sunday feels so far away, and then suddenly, like on a dime, it's like Sunday's not so far away. Oh my God, we are so far behind, and that's where I was at. So I couldn't sleep until we got the last shot, which, and I was the guy that was going around and waking up our actors and being like, okay, we got the lighting set up. It's time to go shoot this one, and I just felt so bad doing it, but you got to get the shot. Like it's why we're here. So that's what we did. But anyway, I don't know if you listened to all of this. This was a long ramble. I really just wanted to do a deep dive on what happened this weekend, what was so fresh in my brain before I fell asleep, and this like sleepless weekend amnesia set in because I think that's going to happen pretty quickly. And yeah, great weekend. Can't wait to share the video with you when we're allowed to. Love my team, love my wife, love my family, love my community that supports me doing this. Peace.